the recording has started. So welcome to number 2 class of How I Strengthened My Immune System After Cancer. That's what I called it because I didn't know what else to name it. And I know it's a long title, but it's kind of self-explanatory too.
Right.
And tonight's class is going to be on cleansing and detoxing. There's a lot going on, so Jessica, I'm recording it, so you'll be able, if you miss anything, you'll be able to listen to the recording of it.
Oh, I was hoping. I was hoping. I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, and then like on Saturday, I'll try to get it sooner. But what I'll do
for you. Whenever's good for you.
So I'm after the class, whatever I talk about, if there's like any resources, any websites, or any products or whatever that I name, I'll try to get them all in an email or in a document and send them to everybody so that you have them all. But you can also use your notebook, if you want to write stuff down. And if there's any time that there's any questions or you have, any concerns, just, let me know. Don't hesitate. But we will have, like, some questions and answers at the end, just in case if anybody thinks of something that they want clarified or have a question. So we'll do that. And we'll start with, I wrote this cleansing and detoxing paper outline. I think it was in 2016, and I went over it before the class and just little tweaking, but pretty much everything is the same. And one of the things that I was reminded of was that I should say, or I have to say, before you do any kind of detox or any kind of diet change or anything like that, talk to your healthcare practitioner. Now, your healthcare practitioner, though, is probably not either on board or they're not real familiar with what you want to do. So my suggestion, my personal suggestion, is to have a natural doctor, a chiropractor, a naturopath. They would be on board and they would understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish better. Because again, doctors only know what they've been taught, and they haven't been taught about nutrition and how nutrition and diet affects our bodies. So, and it's not a slight on them. It's just the way it is. They've been taught to treat disease with drugs and surgery. So if we can understand the difference, it helps to know who to go to when. Like I said last time, if you're in a car accident, you're not going to go to a naturopath or a chiropractor if you have a lip hanging off. You want to go to a hospital with a doctor who can do surgery. But if you want to get well, if you want to have good health, and you want to learn how to take care of your body and strengthen your immune system, then I would suggest a natural doctor. And chiropractors are actually very, very good resources for that. They not only do adjustments, but they're also usually very well versed in diet and nutrition and supplements, things like that. So that's number one. And one thing that we really don't think of, like, how we breathe every day, every second, we smell, we do these things without realizing it. Well, our body detoxifies itself regularly the same way, like every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day. And it's constantly getting rid of any toxins. And what I also learned, metabolic waste. Like, I'm not real familiar with that, but that was what somebody, this chiropractor had said in his talk. And so we need to be able to eliminate all these things. And like we talked about last week, the elimination process, how important it is to get to eliminate in order to get out those those waste products out of our body, because otherwise they stay in our body and they cause havoc. They do a number of, damages. So, so what we talked about last week, how important it is to have our bowels working properly, right? And eliminate. 3 times a day is optimal. That's what they say, 20 to 30 minutes after each main meal, or twice a day. Once a day, I guess that's okay, but it's not as good as, 2 or 3 times a day, obviously.
What are you talking about here?
Elimination.
Okay, elimination.
Eliminating your bowel. Yep. So, let's see. Just from my experience and from what I've discovered from reading, talking to doctors, like natural doctors, the very first detox that you should do before you do a full, detox would be the bowel cleanse. So getting your bowels ready, getting them in order, making sure they work properly, then do a bowel cleanse. Okay. And so that is where I have, which I showed you last week, this Formula 1. That's what I use when I need to get regular, from Dr. Schultz, herbdoc.com. And here's his Formula 2. So Formula 2, and here's what it says. As a dietary supplement, take 10 capsules 5 times a day. And you must drink a minimum of 16 ounces of liquid with or immediately after each dose. So when you're doing a bowel cleanse, you're definitely going to be drinking a ton of water, number one. So before that's also important, we talked about hydration. So when you have, just in our daily life, we should be drinking, at least 8 ounces, or 8-ounce glasses of water per day. And then there's also, like people say, half your body weight in water. Mm-hmm. So, that it depends on your tolerance level, and you'll get to know your body, what you can tolerate, but at least I would say 8 ounces. Right. 8-ounce glasses. So when you're doing a bowel cleanse, you're really going to want to up and increase your water intake. And that brings me to my next point, and I'll show you at the very end, but there's this water, my cousin, Michelle, who lives in Las Vegas. Hi, Michelle, if you ever watch this. She told me about this water years ago, and they sell it in Martindale's. I never knew about it until my cousin told me. It's called Penta water, and apparently Penta water has some way of hydrating our cells better.
Penta as in P-E.
P-E-N-T-A. Penta water. It's not cheap. It's not.
But it hydrates the cells.
But it really hydrates your body very well, hydrates your cells. So there's also the Fiji water.
Yeah.
That also is very good and does a very good job hydrating your body. So.
And it helps take aluminum out of the body.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Fuji has, and I'm not sure, maybe Penta water does too. That I'm not sure of.
But Fiji
does. It helps take aluminum and I don't know, is it just aluminum? Heavy metal?
I think so.
Heavy metal
and heavy metal out the body.
Okay.
Safely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when when you're drinking your water, the main thing is don't drink tap water right from the tap. Either use I don't even want to say, Penta and Fuji are bottled water.
Right.
And I don't love the idea of bottled water, because then you have all those plastic bottles,
right.
that you have to recycle that because they don't really recycle. They really don't recycle them, I don't think. From what I've been told.
From our experience, we're just hoping for the best.
Yeah, so
we're all recycled people.
Yeah, so we recycle, but where's it going? I don't know. I can't be responsible for that. So, but we have an under the sink water filter system, and it has 3 different filters. My daughter just got one, and hers is reverse osmosis, and that's a really good one.
Wow.
The reverse osmosis. So, filtered water, just not water from your tap, because if you took my class last week, and you received the email on Saturday, I gave you a link to the EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group website, and they have a link. There's a link there with a guy explaining about tap water. That even though you may get, something from the water company saying that your water is safe and all, they put all kinds of chemicals in your water to kill the bacteria, to kill all the bad stuff that's in it. So that's why the tests come out okay. So you're drinking all kinds of junk in your tap water, and that's why it doesn't taste right. Right. Partly why. And then, of course, there are some things that get missed that I don't like, disgusting stuff that I've read on.
We're not going to talk.
Yeah. Even they call them cysts and stuff. I don't even know what they are, but it's gross when you really think about it.
But I thought I heard somebody say, like, Delaware County water is a lot better. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe over Philadelphia. I don't know.
I don't know. It could be a Wawa revelation.
I don't think any tap water is safe.
That's true. That's true.
And that brings me to the next point of showering. We don't right now, but we used to have a water filter, and I could tell the difference. If I get water in my eyes now without the filter, it hurts. When I had the water filter, and if I got water in my eyes, it didn't hurt. Right. But there's a difference. And the water feels lighter. It's weird, but there's definitely a difference. So, and we didn't get it because we redid our bathroom, and now I don't even think that our new shower head will fit our water filter. So I miss it. I really do miss it. But the thing is, when you're taking a shower in hot water, you're opening all your pores, and all of those toxins that are in your water are coming into your body. So, you might want to consider. The one that I had was from Aquasana, AQUASANA.com. That was recommended by Dr. Lorraine Day, who I talked about last week, and that's what I received when my mom bought me all of those videos in her book. That was what I received in the box, was a shower filter, and I remember thinking to myself, I said to my husband, I said, what are we going to do with a water filter for the shower? Why do we need that? Like, that's how behind the times I was, I was like, this is unnecessary. I really didn't think anything of it. And then we put it up, finally, when I started doing the research, and I was like, we need to put that water filter in, and I loved it. I loved it. It was great. And you get a new one every 6 months. And it's, to me, it was worth it. I would definitely do it. When we move, we're going to have...
Put it back up.
Yeah, we're going to put that back up. And I'm going to see if my husband can figure something out with this, because I really would like to have it now that I'm talking about it. So, okay. So, first cleanse would be a bowel cleanse. There's many of them out there, but this is just the one that I've used, and I'll probably do it again. Somehow I'm going to get these 50 capsules down my throat and into my stomach.
Yeah, but
for 5 days. I think it's for 5 days.
5 days. And you take this one until you're regular,
Yeah.
And then once you're regular, so if you got to take 10 of these until you're regular, you take those until you're regular, and then you get this one.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And stay home. Do that?
That's what I was thinking. Can you go out there?
Actually, a regular?
Yes. This one you take one a day. This is the Formula One. You take one at
For the
dinner.
summer.
Take it like halfway in to dinner so that you can, like me, I have a hard time swallowing the cold. So there she is again.
You know who's the scaredy cat?
So if you have a good bowel movement, a healthy bowel movement the next morning, first thing, then at dinner the next day you take 2. And same thing, if you don't have a good bowel movement that next morning, first thing, then you take 3 at dinner the next night, and you keep going. So I got up to 7 before my bowel
got regular.
Yeah. And I read people did a lot worse than I did, so they had to take a lot more. So that's what we use to get our bowels working. This is not addictive. It is not a laxative. It's wildly harvested herbs and organic herbs and spices. And then this has flaxseed, psyllium seed, apple pectin, activated willow charcoal, marshmallow root, pharmaceutical grade bentonite clay, slippery elm bark, which also helps move our bowels, peppermint leaf, and cayenne pepper blend. So it's got all good stuff in there.
This is the one you don't want to open. Don't think about it. Don't open this one. Just take the pill.
Yeah, I would just.
Oh, right.
So, all right.
You.
So that was just.
What do you mean? Don't take them?
No,
don't
open them. Like we talked last week about the smoothie that I make, and my capsules of some of my supplements. I open them,
but not those.
But not. I wouldn't do these. These like this has habanero pepper in it, so it might be a little rough drinking it without it being in the capsule. Okay, so again, laxatives are addictive, and they actually weaken your what is it called, Mafula? Do you remember what that's called?
Your peristalsis?
Yes. Peristalsis? Peristalsis. Yeah, that's muscle that moves your bowels. It makes them weak, and it makes them not work. So you need more laxatives to make them move, and to, not even to make them move, but to just go. And stool softeners, they're not terrible, but it's not something that I would recommend taking for any length of time. You want to be regular, and you want to get your body going.
These are natural.
These are all natural. Okay, so if you did Dr. Schultz's Formula 1 and Formula 2 intestinal bowel cleanse, it should come with some kind of instructions. What I did was a vegan diet for the week, and I also did, what did I do? I did fruits and veggies, whole grains. You could do like nuts, seeds, raw, instead of roasted. Everything as raw as possible. No meat, no dairy, no eggs, no fish, poultry, none of that.
No cheese.
No cheese. You can include like sesame seeds, nutritional yeast flakes, which is good vitamin B1 or vitamin B2. I can't remember, but a lot of vegans use nutritional yeast flakes for that, for vitamin D. Okay, so after you do the bowel cleanse and you want to do, say you want to do a full body cleanse, there's lots of them out there. I would suggest going to a place like Martindale and asking Nancy.
Yes, go to Nancy.
For some advice about, what are some good ones. They have where you just take some pills every day for a month. something like that.
They do. And Martindale's also have the liquefied detox. I've gotten that one.
Yes.
And it has like
Have that.
yellow dock and
So
yep.
So I have this. It's detoxified. Nancy told me to get these. So milk thistle and the detox I take together. I take 30 drops each in a little bit of water, like a little bit of water, and I just down it.
Mm-hmm.
And it really doesn't taste that bad. It's not bad at all. Mhm.
We did that. We tried that one before. The detoxified. Yes, and then in the summertime, this one we did that one. Remember?
Oh yeah, we did.
We did that one in the summertime.
Okay, so I did that. Now, Dr. Schultz also has a whole bunch of different detoxes. One of them he has is the infamous liver and gallbladder detox. And that's the story that I said last week I was going to tell. So Rich and I decided, this was a long time ago, after the bowel cleanse, we did this liver and gallbladder detox. And we ordered it from Dr. Schultz. It came in the mail, and we started on this detox. And this is the same thing. We did the vegan for the week, and it was like a fast at first, I believe, is what we did. So the elixir that comes with it, after the first drink of it, I was done. I was not having it again. I was not doing it anymore. I was like, I can't do this. This is like, I'm pretty good with taking stuff. I was eating coconut oil off the spoon because I wanted to heal my thyroid, which is another whole subject. Mm-hmm. So I'm brave, and I'll do that. So Rich was very supportive. He did it with me, and he was very supportive and very encouraging. And he said, we need to do this. You need to keep going. And so my brother Mark came over, and my brother Mark, those who know my brother Mark know that he is like a daredevil kind of person. So he's never going to say, you know, ew, yuck, ew, that's gross. Like, he wouldn't ever do that. He'll eat something that's gross, and he will not let anyone know how much he hates it. That's him. That's Mark. Right? So Mark comes over, and I said, hey, Mark, I said, I want you to try something. And he said, yeah, what? And I gave him a little cup of it. And he tasted it, and he, oh, man, that's wicked. What is that stuff, right? That's when I knew I wasn't crazy. And that stuff is wicked. So I'm only telling you up front. I don't want to discourage.
It requires taste.
I don't want to discourage anyone, but I don't want anybody wasting their money either.
Right.
So if you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and you're going to not care. You're just going to, I mean, it's not a lot that you have to take, but it is a lot in one sense because
it requires taste. It's potent. It's for a better cause.
Yeah.
So just pray before you do it, and ask the Lord.
There you go. And I can't remember how many times a day you have to take it. It might be 2 or 3. I'm not sure. So you're never looking forward. You don't want time to stand still when you're doing this cleanse. But we did benefit from it, and we could feel the lightness. We could feel the difference through this whole cleanse. And when we did, like I said, I think we did a fast. And then what we had to do was we had to, like, little by little, you have to get back to eating fruits, vegetables, salads, you know, and be careful because your body, you know, we don't want to overload our bodies too much, especially with too much roughage at one time. So you want to just do it a little bit at a time. And Dr. Schultz does explain on his either when you get the cleanse or on his website, he does explain how to do that properly. So you're not alone. And you come back gradually. But we had so much energy during the time that we did it. It was a 5-day thing, I think, and we were very surprised because at first you fast, so we were just drinking water, and it was, I thought, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that, but I was fine. As far as that went, we were perfectly fine. Then Dr. Schultz also has a 30-day detox. And that detox does all your major organs, and it also helps you lose weight. So if anybody wants to lose weight, it helps with that. It also gives you lots of energy. So that is also something on his website that you can go to and look. Now, this other one, I've never done his 30-day, and I've never done his next one. It's the Incurables program, and this, Mapula, might be something you might want to check out. This is for somebody who is very sick and has very bad immune system issues, very compromised. It's for everyone, so anybody can do it, but it also, from what I saw, it gives hope to people who were told by medical doctors there's nothing more we can do for you. And people wrote in, and I've read their testimonials saying that, we're not allowed to say that anything other than a drug can prevent, cure, diagnose, and treat disease, but these people were better after they did this program. It's not an easy program, but when you're at that point, you'll do anything, and you'll make it work. And
what is it called?
It's called the Incurables program. So I am. So the next. Any questions so far? Anybody have any questions? Okay. So the next thing is just on a regular basis for detoxing our bodies. I like to drink kombucha. Now, I don't drink it every day because, it's like $3 a pop, $3 a bottle. But I try to drink 3, maybe 4 a week. And I also drink a lot of green tea, which has a lot of antioxidants in it, and it's very good for you. But I also used to drink, when I was recovering from my cancer, Paudarco tea, and that's spelled P-A-U, capital D, apostrophe A-R-C-O. So it's Paudarco. And then I guess this is Easiac.
Oh, I know Easy.
E-S-S-I-A-C. Yep. And then there's milk thistle tea. Then there's raspberry leaf tea. It doesn't taste like raspberry. It's just the leaves, so don't get excited and don't be disappointed. Because I thought I was going to have raspberry tea, and I drank it, and I was like, this isn't raspberry. So, I was the guinea pig. I went through all this stuff, I went through all the trial and error, and then there's another one, echinacea, that I have written down here. And then I also remembered astragalus and dandelion.
Yes.
Those are also extremely healing and detoxing type teas. So yeah, so those are great. And just to put a kind of plug in for future classes, I don't know if anybody's ever experimented with fermented vegetables, so I'm going to do a class on that.
I have a book, actually.
Oh, good.
So I can bring it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll show you, I went to a class on it, actually. My friend Ellen and I went to a class in Lancaster, and it was really a good class. And so I learned how to do that. And then there was something that I bought at Martindale's that you put on the jar lid that actually, I don't know exactly what it does. I don't remember. I bought it a long time ago, and I haven't used that. And I haven't actually made them in a while, but I really want to start doing that again.
Is it the thing you put on it to help it close and then put it in the water so it can seal it, so it can ferment?
I guess so. It's something on the top. I don't know. I'll show you when we do the class. So, so that is something that we're going to do. Sprouts is another thing. Sunflower seed sprouts, and I don't know, whatever other kind of sprouts. I have to look that up and see whatever. But I know the sunflower seed sprouts are extremely healthy, and they're, you know, all of this stuff helps your body to detox by itself. The other thing is bone broth, and I'll actually probably do a class on that as well, making bone broth. It's easy. It's just there's a process to it, and it takes days. It's not just make it, you know, and you're done. So, so there's chicken, beef, and there's fish, but I mainly do the chicken. I've done the beef, and oh my gosh, there's nothing like it. They're just delicious.
It was delicious. She
Yeah.
gave me one jar, not two. Just one.
They call it liquid gold.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. And that's something that I have been known to just, you know, heat it up and drink the broth just by itself. 2 cups a day is really optimal, is good. It also helps you with your collagen, so it helps with your skin and tightening your skin. There's so many benefits to bone broth. And so we'll get into that though more deeply when we get into in that class.
I have one question. The kombucha, you take it for your gut health, right?
Yes, that's yes.
And it's different from the pre and probiotics.
Yes, I'm going to actually talk about pre and probiotics
Okay.
shortly.
All right. Sorry about that.
That's okay. No, that's good. It's a preview of what's coming. So bone broth, they do have it in stores if you don't want to make it or whatever. I taste it. Martindale's has, sometimes they have people that come and they display their stuff, and then you can try it in the product. So somebody had this powdered bone broth, and I told the guy, you know, I didn't really want to taste it. I said, I make my own, thank you anyway. But he wanted me to taste it, so I tasted it, and honestly, it was awful. And I had to tell him it was not good. I don't know how people drink that stuff, but I told him it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't tell him it was awful, but it was not. It's
yours.
So how can it be powdered?
Should sell yours.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like homemade.
Right.
And the taste, I don't know if people just drink it like that and suffer through it. I wouldn't want to suffer through that. It's not if I can make it on my own. Go, Carson.
That just was coming.
So, yeah, so bone broth is, you know, you can buy it. They do have it in containers. If you go to maybe a specialty store, they may have it in a refrigerated section, so like homemade. Is it organic? I don't know.
Martindale's has some, though.
Do they?
Yeah, they do have some.
Not the powdered.
Not the powder.
Okay. Okay. We have another one in the background.
That's it.
Watch out if both of them come.
Oh.
He's headbutting. Well, not headbutting, but he's just being
Playful.
playful.
Okay.
So,
Lisa?
Yeah.
When I got COVID in October, and I eventually bought organic chicken from like Aldi's, and I did the chicken, cooked the chicken up, and then I put the rest of the chicken in the oven, the nuggets and then chicken in the oven, and then I boiled my bone broth, but then I saw with bone broth that you have to do it for days, so I probably was doing it wrong, but it was good too.
Oh, yeah, well, you probably made chicken broth, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
The bone broth, yeah, I let mine go at least 12 hours.
Okay. So
Minimum.
I think I ended up doing it right eventually.
Oh, good.
That's what I did in my crock pot.
Oh, yeah, and that's another way you can do it, in the crock pot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I let mine go for 24 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, and then there's a little trick. You put a little apple cider vinegar in the water. It's supposed to draw out the marrow, the bone marrow.
Oh.
And the other thing is, you are supposed to, the best way, you don't have to, but the best way to get all the collagen and the bone marrow out is to make sure the chicken bones are cooked. So I know some people use chicken backs. I use chicken backs, chicken feet, any parts of the chicken, yeah, any kind of bones. You can save your bones, and I've done that, save the bones, put them in the freezer, and then when you have enough and you have cooked chicken or something and you want to add it, and then if you want to add some other, you know, parts like the backs or the feet, just cook them first. Put them in the oven, I don't know, for what, half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. And that's supposed to help draw it out too. And yeah. So that's going to be another class. All right. During a detox, coconut oil is also very good. And, you know, maybe if you can get in there, get in your body like a tablespoon a day. When I was healing from my hypothyroidism, I took 2 tablespoons a day. And then my body told me when it was healed, I don't want any more. Like, I actually was sick in my stomach when I took it, and that's when I looked it up, and I was like, why am I all of a sudden getting sick in my stomach? I've been eating coconut oil, and now I'm sick in my stomach. And that was why my body was literally talking to me and telling me, you don't need this much anymore. And yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, you'll get to know your body, and that's one way that you get to know your body. So when things happen like that, if you look it up, or if you ask, you know, a doctor or a natural doctor, they may tell you that's just your body letting you know. So the other thing is, while you're doing a detox, or if you're not even doing an actual detox, but you just want to eat healthier, you need to eliminate or avoid as much as possible white flour, white sugar. So those are the things you want to get out of your out of your sight, out of your mind, and out of your pantry. So one of my other classes is going to be a pantry overhaul. And you may not do what I did, because what I did was I went in my pantry and I threw everything out. I just got rid of it all. I didn't even give it away, because at the time I didn't want anybody to have it.
Yeah.
You know, so I just threw everything away, and I started new and fresh with organic and whole grain and all of that. So same with like rice. I can't say that rice is the best thing for you, even though it is a whole grain. But if you're going to do rice, basmati, brown, organic rice is probably the best suggestion I have. Quinoa is very good as well, and quinoa is very easy to make. You can use bone broth, which is what I do a lot of times. I'll freeze my bone broth in small quantities, and I use that to cook the quinoa or the rice, and it really makes it flavorful and more nutritious. So the other thing, if you really want to check out coconut oil is unbelievable in what it does and what it can do. Organic, unrefined coconut oil. There's this website that I came across called Coconut Research Center. It's probably coconutresearchcenter.org, I'm going to guess. I'm not sure, but I'll put that in my email when I send everybody.
Just a quick thing. You know how Miss said she emptied out all her cupboards. I was so inspired one time when she told me this story. I emptied all my stuff out. And she said she was okay. When I woke up the next day, I said, oh, I've been robbed. Oh, my God. Well, these are big decisions. I was like, oh, my God, we have no food. I was like, I wonder if the trash bag took it off.
You tell me that.
Well, I had a neighbor. I got back to my senses, but
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my gosh. Wait, I've been robbed. I said, what am I going to eat? But then I had to unlearn and relearn, and then do fruits and vegetables. But that's my. I didn't have a reaction like, oh no. I was like,
yeah. Well, my story was. That was my recovery. I had one chemo treatment, and I was in recovery from cancer, so
right.
I had to be drastic.
Yes, but I was trying what she said because I was like, I got to do something drastic like this. I just need. Oh,
you don't have to do that.
So
you can
just make.
Yeah.
You can make small changes, or you can go big like me. I did do it on a trash day. I was like, I want everything off. I was like, oh God. I did choose a trash day. It was all gone, but I unlearned and relearned.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
You hear these things sometimes, rationalize, look at it. I mean, it helped me out. I learned a lot. I picked up some bad habits back again, and I'm trying to get back on a better track.
I have to, and I know my body, so when my body starts feeling sluggish or tired, I know I need to do better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all fall off sometimes, and it is hard living in this world, working.
Yeah.
You're busy.
You have kids, all kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard.
My daughter made me cheat all the time.
And I do it to myself sometimes, because sometimes I just feel like, I just want something, but I go off the beaten track too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny.
Dr. Day doesn't, though.
No.
I don't think she does. Although she did say when she would travel, she would get pasta sometimes with no meat. So even she went out of, the norm. Her norm.
Yeah.
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 So okay. So getting rid of. Now that's one thing that I would say. Get rid of refined sugar and refined flours.
Yeah.
Now, as far as flour, what I found, and it took me a while before I discovered this, einkorn flour.
I just heard about that.
Did you? It's spelled EIN as Nancy, KORN as in Nancy. It's an ancient wheat that has never been modified or hybrid or, anything like that. It's the original wheat. And I believe from what I've read and what I see and how I'm seeing all these people with celiac disease or they're sensitive to wheat and they have to go gluten-free, I do believe that all of this wheat that they've changed, they've modified, GMO, it's not healthy for our bodies. Our bodies don't know what to do with this stuff because it's not natural. God didn't create our bodies for unnatural things and modified things.
That's true.
So the einkorn wheat is the only one that I buy. It comes in all-purpose and whole wheat. And, of course, the whole wheat is a little bit heavier, and I've used both.
Okay.
The all-purpose still seems to have a good amount of like the wheat germ and everything in it. It's just not as heavy.
Okay.
The only thing with this kind of flour, it doesn't rise as high. But other than that, I make my banana bread with it. I've made bread with it. Anytime I make cupcakes, cakes, brownies, cookies, anything, whatever. There is a little sweet to it. And I think on the package it might tell you reduce any liquid by like 20%.
Okay.
So that's the tweaking of it. So there's that. And then as far as sweeteners go, you don't want any, white sugar. You can, here comes Brenna. We have another one here.
Get Brenna.
Stevia leaf is actually the better one, and that usually comes in the powder form. There's also one that I've used because I don't like the aftertaste of stevia. So it's called Kal, K-A-L, and it's an extract, and it comes with in a little bottle with a drop. It's very, very potent. It does have a little bit of an aftertaste, but once you get used to it, it's easy to get used to. So, and actually, it's not very expensive when you think about it because you only need a few drops.
Okay.
So
a little go a long way.
A little goes a long way, and that bottle will last a long time. So initially it might be a little higher. It comes in different flavors. I don't get any of the flavors. Again, I don't like any of those. They might be natural or whatever, but I don't like getting additives. So I get the plain, and I get it at Martindale's, and usually they have to order the plain for me because in stock. I haven't ordered it or seen it in a while or bought it in a while, but usually when I see it, they only have the flavors and they don't have the plain, so they'll order it. So there's that. And then the other kind of sweetener would be a raw unheated honey. The best kind of honey is where they have all the, like the bee propolis all on top, and you can actually take it and chew it. It has beeswax in it.
Yeah, but it's waxy when you do that.
You don't eat that. You chew it, and then once you're done chewing, I get rid of the wax. But it's extremely healthy.
Okay.
And even just like my grandkids all know, like when they were little, although infants, 1 year and under, they should not have honey of any kind. Mm-hmm. But after that, my grandkids always ask for, Mom, can I have honey on a spoon? Because we would always do honey on a spoon. That would be their
nice.
Like their sweet thing. So even sometimes when I get my tea and I have honey, I'll take a little bit on the spoon, and it is very healing. Mm. So it's good for you. But try it, if you're doing honey, they say if you're going through like a cancer thing or if you're going through trying to fully detox your body and you really want to be strict, no sugar sweetener at all or 1 teaspoon max a day. And that's what I did. I did maximum 1 teaspoon a day when I was recovering from cancer. The other sugars that I use or sweeteners that I use is coconut sugar. I use that in baking and maple syrup, organic maple syrup. So, but I use them sparingly. I don't bake sweets a whole lot. When I make my banana bread, I try to use more bananas and reduce the sweetener in that.
Yeah, it's delicious. Delicious.
I got my banana bread recipe from the Church Town Inn, which is Rich's and my favorite bed and breakfast in Narbonne, I think it is, in Lancaster County.
I thought you was about to say Dayton.
No, in Lancaster. Oh, this isn't working. I don't know why that's doing
All right, it'll adjust.
So They had a book. This was in the 90s, 95, I think. They have a recipe book, and that banana bread came from there. I tweaked it and changed things just a little bit based on my ingredients that I use. But it is the best banana bread recipe.
I woke up out of my sleep and ate a slice. And I usually don't get out of my sleep, but I don't know. I must have had it on my mind.
So the next sweetener is not one that I recommend, but it's one I used to use, and I thought that it was good until it started being controversial, and they did some more research on it, is agave nectar. They say it's very high in fructose, and even though it does have a lower glycemic index, it's still not healthy for you. So that's why I don't recommend that. And we went over the wheat and the einkorn flour.
Where do you get your einkorn? I can't say.
Einkorn? Martindale.
Martindale.
Okay. Has it. Whole Foods
I
has
can't wait to go to Martindale.
And online.
We're going to get shirts that said, we belong to Martindale.
Yeah. We should buy stock in Martindale.
They have it too.
Mom, yeah, Mom.
Where's that?
It's up in, like you're going to Brunmore.
Oh, I never heard of that.
You never heard of Mom?
Yes.
M-O-M or M-U-M? M-O-M, Mom.
Yeah. They have a lot of good stuff there.
Oh, wow, I have to check that out.
With
and
me.
that's in Bryn Mawr, Bryn Mawr?
Yeah, Brunmore, yeah.
In Bryn Mawr? Okay, I'll just...
Yeah, me and you can take a ride.
When you're in Lancaster, there's the...
I'm going to write that down.
Before Brunmore Hospital.
Before Bryn Mawr Hospital.
They have a lot of good nuts, especially the Brazilian nuts. They have a lot of. Miss Sonia and I went there a couple of times.
Nice.
Yeah, but by SEPTA. I don't want to do that. I'm running.
Okay. So the other thing, let me see, where am I here? The other thing is, of course, we talked about this before, is juicing. Juicing can also be a detox. You could do a juice fast. You could do a juice detox. That is also extremely healthy. When you juice, you have so much energy that you're not even missing food.
Oh, come on.
Will you stop that? That's Brenna. She wants to be in the middle of everything. So juicing is also a great way to detoxify, and I'm going to do a class on that as well. And that's why I say, like, all these classes, there's so much information. I'm likely going to go beyond the 8 weeks, so it's just...
We're in for the long haul.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe she can teach us how to make bread.
So, yeah, you could do that too. So I also have this, I'll email everybody just so you have it, the benefits of juicing. There's so many reasons why juicing is so good, especially when you're tired and you're not feeling well all the time, and it's a great way to get your body rejuvenated quickly. We also talked about water, filtered water and all. Oh, the other thing is, Dr. Schultz, this guy, the Formula 1 and 2 guy, he has a recipe for a liver flush. It's a 5-day liver flush, and I've done this numerous times, and I'm going to do it again. It's a little bit tough. You might find it a little bit tough to drink because it's olive oil, either lemon, lime, or orange juice, depending on whether it's spring, summer, or fall, winter, something like that. Or it's apple, well, I forget what the recipe is, but it also includes raw garlic. So every day, you increase the garlic by 1. So 1 garlic clove one day, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, I think is what it is. The next day, and then there's the other ingredients. The next day, 2 cloves of garlic, up to 5, and the 5 tablespoons, I think, of olive oil. So by the 6th day, it's very potent.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, that if that doesn't clean your liver and anywhere else in your life, yeah.
Would you suggest the recipe?
I'm going to give you the recipe when I email everybody.
Okay.
So I'll give you all the recipe for that. So that is also a great thing, and most of the stuff you already have. And when I say lemon juice or lime juice, orange juice, apple juice, for me, that means fresh squeezed or fresh juiced. So I would juice my lemons, oranges, and my apple if I'm doing that, the apple. So that's great. The other thing is milk thistle supplement capsules. That's a great detox for the liver. So that's something that if you wanted to take, you can try to, take that. And like I said, find out maybe from somebody like Nancy at Martindale's I don't know, I don't take it. I've drunk, how do I say that? I've drunk the tea.
My husband's always correcting me for that one. I forget what the right one is.
I drank the tea before.
Right.
And I've never taken the milk thistle supplements.
Okay.
So, so you can ask about that. The other thing that I've done is, I haven't done it. Somebody told me about detoxing with ASEA, that supplement that I talked about before, and I don't have it with me back here, but and I just wanted to also let everybody know, because last week I had my little spray bottle of ASEA, and it actually comes in a 32-ounce blue bottle that you get, and you get 4 of those bottles per month. So somebody told me who was involved with ASEA that you could do a weekend detox with ASEA, and it's like you're not, I don't think you're eating anything, you might be just drinking water and doing the detox, the ASEA. But that's something more I'll find out about. And I can imagine that could be pretty
good for you.
Good, yeah, extremely. Because ASEA is a detoxifying supplement anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the other great detoxifier is Sun-Chlorella. The brand, I guess it's Sun-Chlorella brand. It's not cheap, but you get a lot for the price that you pay. It's something that you want to do gradually. So if it says take 5 they're little green pills, take 5. I would probably start out with maybe 1 or 2, because when you're detoxing, your body's releasing all the toxins, right? You're just getting rid of all these toxins. So exactly, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You could get sick in your stomach and nauseous and things like that. So you don't want to do that. And it's the same with ASEA. Some people really need to take it slow. So you would just take maybe like a quarter of the dose for a couple of days, see how you do, and then do a little bit more and gradually build up. That's how I would suggest doing anything, unless you're doing like this. This kind of thing, you do have to follow the directions and take it as directed. So,
I'm gonna need to go. It's a little bit after. I don't want to, but yeah. We'll be here for a long time doing our writing.
We're almost done anyway. Yeah, we're almost done anyway. So it was great to see you again.
Yes, you guys too.
I hope I helped, give you some information that can help you.
I'm taking lots of notes here.
Oh, good.
Good.
All right, great.
Yeah. No, I'm loving the classes.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully I don't see why I couldn't. I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you guys.
All right. Bye. All right. She's a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So pretty much that is it for the detoxing part.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
So with detoxing, you can just detox with juicing by itself.
You can. Yep.
Or you can add the supplements, whatever.
Yep. There's so many ways that
But
you can
you
do
got to
that.
remind her when she juiced, because remember the time when we were juicing
Yeah.
and I wasn't going to the bathroom?
Well, yeah.
You're not going to go. It's the urge you're going to feel. So don't follow me.
That'll come days later, though, because once you clean out your whole system.
Yeah, but then when you're not going, it's like like in your mind you feel like you should be going all the time. But because you're giving the body a rest, it made me uncomfortable.
Okay.
And you'll become uncomfortable and think you need laxative and stuff, but your body is doing what it's supposed to because you're shut down that area.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's why it's important that when we reintroduce foods in our body, we do it gradually because then we're awakening our whole bowel and digestive system.
Back.
Yeah.
Right.
So, because when we juicing takes, depending on the juicer, it takes the fiber out of, and any roughage, it takes that out of the juice. Okay. So the better the juicer you have, the more juice you're going to get and the less pulp and fiber you're going to get.
Okay.
And that's something I'll also talk about during the juicing session is the juicers.
Okay. But we start from where we are.
Yes. Absolutely.
As long as you start, the thing is to start.
Yeah. So, because some people, the juicer that I got, how long have I had it now? Since like 2005. Mm-hmm. Even back then, it was $200 and some. Mm-hmm. So now, I think the last time I checked, which was like 4 years ago, it was like $269. So it hasn't gone up all that much, but it's still a lot.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of money. There are, like Jack LaLanne has a juicer. Mm-hmm. There's other ones that you can get at Walmart. So, and you can even ask on Facebook. Some people have these things. They don't even know what it is. They don't know how to use it. Maybe somebody gave it to them. Or they bought one and said, I'm going to do this, and then they never did it, and then it just goes on a shelf. So you might even want to Facebook put a Facebook thing out there and say, hey, does anybody have a juicer out there they're not using or they want to sell? And, they can make a couple bucks and you can get one that's not expensive. Mm-hmm. So, let me see. Yeah, so you're talking about moms. Mm-hmm. And there's another place out in Lansdale, and honestly, I don't even know if it's still open. I'm assuming it is, but I haven't heard anything about it lately, called Arnold's Way. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Mm-hmm. I don't think I went. I've never been there. I wanted to go. It's a vegan raw cafe. Mm-hmm. So they have all vegan and raw foods. And from what I hear, it's delicious. Mm-hmm. They even have desserts, and it's all organic and natural. So that's another, and I believe it is in Lansdale, not Lansdowne, Lansdale, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, located in Lansdale. So, and that's called Arnold's Way. And I think you can also buy stuff to take home. They also have stuff that you can sit there and eat at the same time. So
the pre and probiotics.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So, there's a couple other things. Wait, before I get to that I want to share. And so it's not just something that we put in our mouth to detoxify our bodies. This is the clay mask, and that is a detoxifier for our skin. It's made with bentonite clay and dried chamomile. So I put it in like a coffee grinder, and I ground up the chamomile flowers. They're organic.
Oh, you make it that one yourself?
So this I make, and this is going to be something that I make and sell once I do my products, and that's what it looks like. And with this, I have the instructions on here. With this, you mix in 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of clay powder with a teaspoon of water and a teaspoon of raw honey. The important thing with this is you cannot mix it with a stainless steel spoon or any metal. It has to be wooden,
okay,
because it interacts with the metal, okay, and then you can't use it. So do that. I have these little tiny wooden spoons that I think I got a lot of them from my cousin Debbie, I think, and I bought some, and I just stir it up, and you put it all over your skin, all over your face. You let it sit and dry for 15 minutes. And then what I do is I get a hot washcloth and I put it over my face, and then I just, gently wipe it off, and that's it. And it's really good. And what this does is it pulls out all the impurities.
Can you use it on the body?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It pulls out the impurities that are in your skin, and we all know there's all kinds of environmental toxins in the air that we breathe, through our lungs, through our nose. There's environmental toxins in our water, like we talked about, and they're just everywhere. So, so that's something that's really good. And then I also make my own deodorant, which I'll also be selling once I get my products up and running. But I am not that sensitive with my skin, so I didn't have a problem. But there were some people that like Rich, my husband, he gets a rash, like he gets all red if he uses my natural deodorant, and that's because his body has gotten so used to the other that, and he's probably, I guess it's like under his armpits, he's toxic. It's pulling it all out. So what happens is, and you get this red, itchy, and sore redness,
It's pulling,
yeah,
out the body.
So this is from Wellness Mama, and her name is Katie. She runs Wellness Mama, and I learned a lot from her. Her website is great, wellnessmama.com. She has a lot of recipes for skincare, and I've gotten recipes from her. So I think this is from her. She talks about armpit detoxification process with clay when you switch to a DIY natural deodorant.
Oh.
So you do this first. I think it takes about a week, I believe, before, and I'll email this to everybody this week. So if you do, now they do sell them in the stores, and they do have some decent ones out there. They're like, if you go to like Marshall's or TJ Maxx, something like that.
Martin does have one that Nurse still likes.
Oh yeah, they do. And they can run $5 and up for the deodorant. Of course, homemade deodorant and natural deodorants are aluminum free.
Right.
And any deodorant that you get, make sure it's aluminum free, metal free. Any antiperspirant is not good. Antiperspirant keeps you from sweating, which holds in the toxins. So when you're sweating, you're detoxing yourself. So when you're running around or you're exercising and you're sweating, that's a good thing. It's coming out. You're allowing it to come out. So what the natural deodorants do is it allows you to sweat, just not smell, have any odor, have bad odor. And it works. I can tell you that for sure. Now, if I'm overwhelming the deodorant because I'm exercising or something, that's different. But I can tell you another story that when I was recovering from the cancer and I was juicing and I had detoxed and everything, I sweat and there was not one bit of odor at all in my body because my body was so pure and clean from all the mess that goes inside of us. So I also found this, and I'm not sure, this is from Wellness Mama. Katie Wells is her last name. She has a detox for your hair. Mm-hmm. And I'll try to find this again. So what she does is she brews herbal tea, or she gets water, half a cup of apple cider vinegar, about 3/4 cup of bentonite clay or Redmond clay. I've never used Redmond clay. And 10 drops of essential oil of choice. She uses lavender and rosemary because that's for hair growth. So, so that's what she does. I will send this out.
Wellness Mama?
Wellnessmama.com. And her name is Katie Wells, and that's her. Mm-hmm. So there's detoxing is, goes much further than just taking some pills or whatever. There's so many different things that you can do to detox. So probiotics and prebiotics. We talked about kombucha a little bit last week. Kombucha has probiotics in them, just like yogurt does. So yogurt, antibiotics, has live bacteria and yeast that are good for you, especially for your digestive system. So those are the good bacteria that we like to put into our body. But probiotics need prebiotics. So prebiotics are what probiotics feed off of.
Mm-hmm. You take prebiotics first thing in the morning before you do anything.
Okay.
You have to take it on it.
Well, I just, usually it's just like a more natural thing, like eating. There's prebiotic foods. They're in fruit, vegetables, whole grains, like apples, artichokes, asparagus, bananas, barley, berries, chicory, cocoa, dandelion greens. There's a whole list of them. I'm going to send this out to everybody too. And talked about the probiotic benefits, helps you absorb calcium, gives you good gut bacteria. So the other thing just to mention while we're on detoxing is when your gut is healthy, your whole body is healthy.
Right.
Usually if you're sick,
your gut.
It stems from your gut and your digestive system. It all stems from there. And that's something that medical doctors will not, I don't know if it's something they're not taught or just that they're not privy to, but they don't tend to tell people that. So I'm guessing they just don't know. But because what they do is they'll just, whatever your symptoms are, they're going to treat them.
Right.
Which makes you worse because that makes your gut worse. Anytime you take antibiotics, you're setting your immune system back 3 years. It'll take you 3 years to get your immune system back to where it needs to be. And like I said, I was taking antibiotics like 5-6 times a year. And so I am not surprised that I got cancer. I was a mess. So that's one thing that is very important to understand is gut health. And that's something that you can research easily and look up and find out how to keep your gut healthy. And that is a big part of your immune system, is in your gut. So that's all I have Unless he has any questions.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
You talked about, I should have asked then because I forgot.
Oh, that's okay.
About the 5 days. You said fasting when you were detoxing the liver.
Mm-hmm.
Did you fast first, or you mean you fast in the morning and then detox in the afternoon? Or what was that?
We did, I think it was a 2-day fast.
Okay.
Then on day 3, that was with Dr. Schultz. That was with the liver and gallbladder cleanse.
Mm.
So what we did was on day 3, we introduced, I forget what, maybe some fruit. Then the next day, probably some vegetables. And then the next day, I think, was salad. And then we just, went on from there. But we just introduced, we did I think it was a 2-day fast. Just
And then you did the formula.
Just, that was the liver and the gallbladder cleanse. So we took the elixir and water, and that was it. That's all we had for 2 days.
Okay. The liver detoxing
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
And water.
That was it. And then we continued with the elixir, and then gradually started introducing food again.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was it. So, so I see there's somebody. Oh, that's Linda. Hi, Linda. I don't know how much you got to watch, but we are recording, and I'm going to record. I'm going to put the link on probably Facebook, and I'll email everybody the link. So if anybody wants to watch this after the fact, they're welcome to. And on my Facebook page, on Lisa Small Naturals Facebook page, if whoever watches any of my classes or attends any of my classes, if you wouldn't mind rating them,
Okay.
that would be great. I just noticed that today. Like, I'm not into all that stuff. I don't really, I'm not into all that marketing stuff. Yeah, I mean, I do what I can, but so, and I don't like to ask people to do that, but it does help get the word out and, try to get, I guess, it just helps. So,
people
yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and the more people we have, like, I'm surprised that we don't have more people on this, because with so many people sick especially after COVID, I'm really surprised. I don't know why.
It's probably taking them a little bit, but eventually they'll catch on.
Yeah.
Majority of people want to unlearn and relearn.
Yeah, and that is the point. The unlearn, you have to unlearn everything that you knew before, because this was, to me, this was a whole other world. I had no idea any of this stuff existed. And honestly, my daughter tell me some things, because when she was a teenager, she worked at Martindale's. So I was not interested. She would come home and say, Mom, we have to eat organic food. We have to do this and we have to do that. And I would say, organic food's too expensive. We're fine the way we were. We don't need that. And she would be like, no, I learned this, and, it's okay. It's my husband. Sorry, Rich. I'll call him back. So I was not in step with it either, and I regret that. And I did tell my daughter after I got the cancer and I started learning all of this stuff, I apologized to her, and I told her I regret not listening to you and not heeding her small voice,
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that I did. So, yeah. So anyway, are we done, girls?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, sayonara, and God bless everyone. And I just, I'll be praying for anybody who's watching or sees this afterwards, that that you have a desire, not just for this, but even to know the Lord, because He's the one that guided me through all of this. I wouldn't be doing this, and I might not be here if it wasn't for his guidance.
Amen.
Because, like I said, if it was about me and for me, I would have just said, I don't want to do that. And I would have just gotten the chemo and the radiation and gone through all of the double mastectomy and whatever, and I wouldn't have learned to sing. So, yeah. So we're gonna pray for Mapula over here, who is dealing with some things, and I pray that anybody listening would, keep her in your prayers as well. Yes. All right. And here's Mapula. There she is. And there she is. We'll turn you around. Oh, I did it again. And there she is. All right. So we are going to sign off for now, and we'll see you next week when we do our next class. Yeah. And I'm not sure exactly which class we're doing yet, but I will announce it. I promise. I'm just trying to go in some kind of an order and something that, kind of like urgency kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure I do the right class. So I'm going to put some effort into that, and then I'll let everybody know what's going on next week. Okay. So until then, God bless, and good night.